Okay, you guys can hear me now, right?
Hi.
Happy birthday, Anne. No, it's your birthday. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Warren. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Christina,
I thought I had my volume on, but I didn't. My
no
mic.
problem.
So thank birthday wish.
You guys can open up your mics for now. I'll have you mute when we're ready, but let's just see who coming online. Okay. Marianne, Smita, Justine, Mark, Iris, Danielle, Nancy, Michelle, Jessica, Melissa. Did I say Dean already? Okay. Iris. I'm missing everybody. Melissa. Okay, I know some of you guys are new, so glad you could join us. I'm gonna hold on. So we have a chat. You might see it if you're new to Zoom, which probably most of you aren't, but if you're new, there's a chat little thing at the bottom on the kind of toolbar. And the reason that's important for this call is because in order for us to choose who we're going to read, I just want to see you kind of put in there, right? Like, okay, Alan's saying for you to write, not yet, but when we say yes, to write who you want to connect with. Like, let's say, oh, Mary and my grandmother, something like that, right? Just one person, please, that you want to connect with. And we're going to randomly choose who. It's not going to be based on like first come, like who posts first, okay? Because Alan's saying he didn't think that's really fair. We're going to kind of go random. And if you had happened to get a reading last time, the first time we did it, which is a couple of weeks ago, but at this point, we just ask that you wait till other people go first. We're not going to heavily enforce that or anything, like slap your hand. Like if you post and we call on you, we're just request, okay? Just to keep it fair. So we would need the name of the person that you want us to link with and their relationship to you. And the reason for that is we're going to try to do as many of you as we can, and we're not really evidential mediums. And then Alan is like kicking me, going, "Why are you saying that?" But it's because I'm not trained as a medium, and he was trained in the UK by his good friend Barbara Ellen Narbeth, who was a well-known, respected psychic medium in her time. She's since retired because they were the same age, but she trained him, and he had natural ability. And so as a child, he would feel spirit in his bedroom, like when he's saying like from the age like 2 or so, especially when he was 3, 4, and he would feel them in his bedroom. He would also feel his body change. That was the part that freaked him out as well, because he could feel his body expand, like grow really big, and then to like fill the room, and then it would shrink and he'd be really small. So he was terrified, just thought, what's happening? But clearly later he realized he was a natural psychic medium. And one way you can tell with them is that usually they are sensitive from birth. Not always, because people can learn. He's telling me, please emphasize that. Anybody can open up as a medium. And in fact, the work we're going to get into more, especially when the book comes out, he says maybe even before the book comes out, is to teach people how to be mediums in their own life. In other words, not necessarily to read for the public, because not everyone wants to do that. You know, it can be daunting for most people. And he says those people really need to be trained. But in terms of connecting with your loved ones in heaven, we're all wired to do that. You can connect with your loved ones in heaven, and you can also connect with your angels and your guides. But we're really talking about your loved ones in heaven, primarily because that's what the book's about. That's what I'm going through with Alan. And he says, and it's something that nobody's really focusing on teaching. There's a lot of people teaching angel communication, spirit guide communication, and whatnot. And that's awesome. That's great. That's what I went through, learning how to channel, connecting with my guides and channeling them, and I still do that. But to teach, he's saying the average person how to connect to their loved ones on the other side directly. He says nobody's really doing that. And certainly nobody is, absolutely says nobody's doing that with one of the teachers being on the other side. All right. No, he says he knows nobody's doing that. And that's what we're here to do. So his role in what we're talking about in the teaching part of it. And by the way, we're going to do a little bit of this in today, as you'll see, I'll explain it in a minute. But the way that works is on the other side, Alan can help the loved one over there because they vary in their ability to come through. And he says that's just how it is. Some of them will have a more difficult time than others. And they're not always like loud enough or, you know, I'm gonna ask everybody to mute if you can, or I'll start muting some people. So, okay. So if everybody can mute if you haven't, because he's saying that, yeah, they vary in their abilities. Some are more quiet or inhibited, or their energy is just, he says, especially if they just recently crossed over, they may still be kind of acclimating. So they may not really be, he's saying, like stable enough to come through and hold that case. So, and there's many, many reasons. And that's why some mediums will actually call on a spirit helper of their own that's on the other side to help them, to assist them to bring that loved one through. He can do that, he says, but more because he says just because that's the job that he's saying that he trained for, to help those on the other side to actually communicate with their loved ones here. Okay, so that said, he wants me to say to you that understand that some of them may not be quite ready yet to come through. Doesn't mean they won't ever. It just means for whatever reason, they may not be ready to, like today or right now. Okay, but that will probably change, right? He's saying that the reason what we're doing is possible right now is because people are just ready for it. He says they weren't ready until now. I mean, when he says he's showing me now, he means literally like now. He doesn't mean like last year. He says now. And he says it required there to, sadly, he says it required there to be such a monumental loss of life that was unnecessary due to COVID. And then of course you have the natural deaths that occur, correct, through various diseases and conditions, whether it's heart attacks, cancer, etc. So you add the COVID to the mix, then you have a huge number of people who crossed over. And he says from his perspective over there that most of them, and not all, okay, but most of them want to come through to their loved ones here. He says they're not dead, they're more alive. So they don't, and they do come back and they're trying to like jump up and down and go, hey, I'm here. Like, I love you, I'm here. I want you to know I'm here. And they get frustrated because they can't get through to us. And they understand why that is, right? I mean, he says, yeah, they definitely understand. Like, I'm over here, they're over here, we're at a different frequency. She or he can't see me, hear me, whatever. I get it, but it doesn't mean they want it to be that way. And it doesn't mean that they're not grieving along with us, okay? There's this misconception people have that once people go to heaven, like, oh, they're just happy as a clam. And he says, yeah, they are. They absolutely are. He's not taken away from that. He says they are. But if they've left behind loved ones whom they very much still care about, he says, especially, I mean, of all kinds, whether, especially, you know, children for sure, but especially a partner or spouse, because that person likely is their person. In other words, that's the love of their life. So if you lose the love of your life, technically your life kind of is over. we don't mean to say that in a dark, negative way, but those of us who have lost our soulmates or twin souls, whatever you want to call them, um, we know that. Like, I'm not going to find somebody else who I'm going to love as much. I may love them differently. And that can also happen. And that's beautiful, by the way. Our loved ones on the other side, they want that for us. And they would never shut down that option for us. Alan has even asked me, says, would you be happier if I let you go? And I know he says it would break his heart, but he loves me so much that he would let me go if that's what I needed. You know, if that would make me happy. And he said he would even help me find someone that would make me happy. Okay, they will do that for us, but it's a choice. I'm not here to say that's what you should do, or that you should open up and talk to your loved one on the other side. It's just that people don't know that that's an option, and that's what we're here to teach. You know, through my own journey with him and through his helping those on the other side. So understand that he's over there. When I do readings, I literally see him kind of go and get the loved one at times, not all the time, but usually I do. I see him like, and sometimes that loved one, to me, on my perspective, looks like that loved one could be like standing back a bit, like he's not, not sure, come through. One guy, I've talked about this before on a live, I think, one client's husband was hiding behind a wall. and I was going, I can't get him to come out. He's like hiding behind the wall. I go, why? And then I remembered, because I knew the client's story. I knew her situation. Oh, I said, he's probably feels badly about how he treated her. And he said, yeah. He said, because he was abusive. He wasn't the easiest husband, I guess, to get along with anyway, but he had gotten brain cancer. I think it was brain cancer. So when your brain is affected, your behavior changes. So he became more abusive, just terrible, like spewing obscenities. They're not themselves. So he was hiding like that because and I said, in those cases, there needs to be some healing involved. There needs to be forgiveness, and not on his part, because in heaven they've forgiven us. They see the bigger picture. They understand what happened and why. It's our part. Like, she would need to forgive him and work through her resentment and her anger for whatever had gone wrong in the marriage. I had to do the same thing with Alan. So it wasn't like it was an easy thing. I'm done with the healing the resentment, but I had a lot to go through. So that's what I'm saying. There's all these factors involved with how easily they come through, how if they really come forward. If they're strongly motivated to come forward, like they have to get you a message, they will find other people to give it to you, not just us. Okay, I've heard stories of people, like one woman who's lost her child, and the son, Alan's saying he tuned into the situation when we were hearing about it, and the son, I think he was maybe 12. I want to say he was like not really a teen, but not really a little kid. He got total strangers to give his mom messages. Like, the messages were coming from all these different people that didn't even know her, and some people who did know her. Okay, she had so many messages, she never had to go to a medium, because all these people were giving her messages from her son, and she knew they were from her son. So Alan wants you to know that they will move mountains, if they're able to. They may not all be able to just yet, but he said he really believes, and I just have to go with him based on what I've experienced with him. He really believes that they can get to the place where they can really reach out through the veil. Okay, it just takes some practice on their part, but also we have to kind of get ourselves ready. There's things that we can do to open up and prepare for that. So it's like a two-way thing. So because we kind of have to meet in the middle. Can't leave it all up to them. I couldn't just sit back and go, okay, Alan, you do all the work, you come through. Go, no, Pam, you have to open your heart. You have to really feel your feelings and all the emotions, and not be afraid of anything, and just feel all of life, the ups and the downs, the sadness, the grief, the joy, like all of it. You can't just pick and choose and say, well, I only want to feel good. You have to be willing to feel the contrast that happens at time and not be afraid of it. Just dive into life. So, and he says, and be more fearless. And most of us are kind of afraid, right? It's just happens because life can be difficult, and we get our hearts broken over various things. So, so that he says that's kind of how he wanted to preface everything, and then explain how we're going to do this. Like I said earlier, kind of teaching a little bit here. And what I mean by that is, as we work with each of you one by one, he showed me this morning what he wanted to do. He wants to really open this connection. You already have a connection with your loved one on the other side, clearly. That's done. But we're talking about really taking it to another level, really like deepening it so that you can more viscerally feel them emotionally. Now, I've talked to at least one or two other psychic mediums who told me, that to feel them in their view, okay, was not the easiest way to start. And then I said that to Alan, like, well, they're saying this, what do you say to that? And he said, well, yeah, that's not hard. It's hard for them to teach that. He says, because they don't have me over here in heaven, like helping this loved one. He said, but actually, in his view, because of the love connection, and because especially those of us who are grieving the loss of someone, we miss them because we still feel that love for them, right? He said it's easier to start there, to really go into your emotions and the love and allow that to grow and feel it and open to their love, because they can broadcast their love to us. And so we will feel it, okay? Now, he wants you to know, because we're going to work on some of you today, and those of you who are not being chosen, he says, it's still going to happen for you if you want that to happen. So just follow along with us, right? Even if we're not like reading you. If you want to go through the experience, like we encourage you to go through it with us. But he says, what will happen, and maybe not immediately, but if you keep doing this, what happens is you'll start to feel their presence, start to feel their love. And I want to invite you to let go of any doubt about it, because the logical mind will tend to, of course, discount what it can't see or prove. But you guys, you know that you can't make up your feelings, right? Like you feel what you feel. You either love somebody, you don't love them. It's not like you got to think about it. I always tell clients, if you have to think about whether you love that person, then you don't love them. That's not a logical thing. You either feel it or you don't. And so with this situation, you're going to get help from your loved one in spirit on the other side, because Alan's going to help them to more strongly broadcast that love, which they already hold for you. But it may just need to, he says, to get louder. And trust me, my husband can be very loud. those of you who've talked to him, and some of you have, go, yeah, he's really loud. If he wants to get through, he's going to get through. And he's getting so much stronger, as some of you have seen in our group. And if you are in our group, I hope you've checked out the post I did today where he showed up as an orb. I don't even call that an orb. It looks like a spaceship. This teeny spaceship that looks like an orb, but it's solid, okay? It's not like translucent. It doesn't look like a bubble. It looks like a solid, and he did that because he was concerned about Maria, because her dog had to go to the vet and she was all upset about it. And he doesn't like to see anyone upset that he's close to. And he's become very close to Maria and her family. And he's been hanging out there a lot. And so he treats her like a daughter. So I could feel his being upset and worried about her. I could feel it, like, oh my God, honey, you're like really worried. He goes, well, I care, I care. I don't like seeing her upset. And The dog will be fine. I've talked to the dog. The dog's all settled. The dog's cool. Now I got to work on Maria. I go, okay. So he was coming through on the camera in her garage, the Ring camera that detects motion. She had actually set it to only detect people, and it still rang when Alan's orb was moving around. And it was just staying right by the camera, like right here, like it wasn't moving around because he was in there the day before, and that orb was moving around. It was really funny. We were like, thought it was really cool. That night, because she was upset, it kept by the camera. It was like he was saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And then, you know, when she went to pick up Allie and got back, and she told me that he was still in the garage, but the notifications weren't being, she wasn't being alerted. It wasn't detecting a person, but it was still there. And this time it was moving again. It wasn't staying right by the camera. It was moving. That to me was just equally as amazing. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, because I think I'm moving into the garage. So I say this to you, not for you to think, oh, wow, that's cool that he can do that. No, I want you to know your loved ones could do this too, okay? Whatever's happened to me can happen to you, can happen between you and your loved ones. They're capable of this, or at least Alan is saying, I'll go teach them how to do that. So be prepared, okay? He says, you want your loved ones to give you signs? That's my job. I'm going to help them to give you signs. His job, he told me, much to my, shock and amazement in the beginning, he says, no, my job is I want to prove that the soul is immortal. I want people to know that we don't die. I'm not going to rest until I've accomplished my mission. And I go, okay, just a small little goal like that. Okay, you just want to prove that nobody dies. All right, that's that. I'll help you then. So he says the way we prove that is to help everybody, whoever's interested. Okay, so he's saying, okay, enough of that. But so that whole thing with the orb, it's in our group. If you're not in our group, because some of you are just on my email list, join our group. What are you doing? Join our group. This whole story that I'm writing about, pretty much all the pieces of it are in the group. All of the things that we're pulling together to put in our book, they're all in the group. If you went back to August when the group was founded, which was about, he's saying now, yeah, it's soon it's going to be about 10 months. Is it 10 months? Yeah, yeah, 10 months. It's been constant communication from him and messages he gave me, and then more recently, phenomena, things that are happening. And he's only getting stronger. And he says, your loved ones on the other side are going to get stronger too, because they're doing, on their side, they're doing all they can to also tear down the veil between the two worlds, because it's time for that to come down. And that time has been predicted. Oh, Maria says his orb is gone now. Okay. He's saying, yeah, because I'm teaching. Very funny. It didn't matter before. He's saying, you don't need him right now, but he'll be back when you need him. Okay. All right. So we're gonna now that we've got that going. Hold on, let me see what he wants to do. Okay, so he says we're just going to get started with the readings. And remember, when we talk to somebody and we go through this, you'll see what I'm talking about. We'll go through this little bit of an exercise with each person. Go through it yourself too, okay? Because he's saying your loved ones that you want to connect with are standing right there with you. He says often on the right side, but really could be any side. Okay, but so trust what you feel. So while we're doing this with everyone, we want you to, or invite you to, open up and feel the blending with your loved one, whether you're called on or not, because Alan is bringing them closer and turning, kind of like helping them raise their energy, like amplify that so that you could feel them. And don't worry whether you think you can feel them or not, like just do your best with it. just set your intention that you want to blend with them. Because spirit communication, a lot of it is, but the crucial part of it is that it's a blending. Because you're not this solitary individual isolated. Okay, we're all one. You're really, and when you're talking about somebody that you're bound to, and I mean it that in a positive way, the love bonds are eternal. When you're bound to somebody, it's, it's not hard, it's through the heart. So you don't have to work at that. When somebody you don't know, it's a little different, obviously. But still, if it was somebody you didn't know, you could still do that because love connects all of us, whether we know that person or not, because we're all one. But when it's somebody that you actually do love, a family member or partner, spouse, friend, what have you, it isn't hard at all, because the love is key. So we're inviting, because he's saying he's bringing them in, because they were here this morning for sure when we were sitting on the lawn, and he goes, they're coming in, and he wants them to come closer to each of you. Okay. Sandra's saying, talking about somebody who passed in April. It doesn't matter when they passed. They passed recently. They passed 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. We'll see who comes through. So I'm gonna have Alan, like, I'm showing him the feed. Hold on. He's not telling me yet. Okay, he seems to. Now, when I call on you, what we'd like you to do is unmute, and we're going to talk to you on the camera. If you don't want to be on camera, that's okay. But otherwise, but either way, we're going to talk, either with camera or not camera. So he wants to start with Barbie, who says she wants to talk to her dad, David. So Barbie, can you unmute?
I'm unmuted.
Oh,
I'm right here.
Hi there.
Here's my dad.
His name was David.
His name is David. It's David. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why Alan is showing me hats. What is with hats? Did your dad like to wear hats? I don't know. I see a big hat.
Yes, he did.
Was your dad a hat guy? He just showed me lots of hats. Like, what is that? Okay. So your dad's saying, your dad comes through saying, this is really funny. He said, what is that song? Oh, it's a Stevie Wonder song where he's saying, don't you worry about a thing. That's the song your dad comes in with. Whether or not he's saying that song, it doesn't matter, because Alan comes in with a lot of songs that he never sung to me before. But he comes in with that song, and Alan's saying, go listen to that song. That's a message from your dad. Say, don't worry about a thing. I'm here with you. And I'm going to really help you with everything. And then Alan shows me everything in capital letters, like everything, like your dad is guiding you, helping you. Guys, everyone should know that they do work behind the scenes to help orchestrate things for us. A lot of people give credit to their angels. You hear a lot of people say, oh yeah, my angels helped me do this, help me find a job. And Alan says, guys, your loved ones are also the angels. They're doing about 50% of that you're giving credit to the angels. It's your loved ones, okay? Because they share your DNA, they share your blood, they can do that for you, but they don't expect credit. Not that the angels expect credit. It's we who give the angels credit. But Alan says, hey, you're going to give credit. Give some to your family, your loved ones, to your partners, okay? Because they will do everything they can, and they have the ability to. I mean, they'll have different abilities, okay? So right now, we're going to go through this process with you, and Alan would like you to put your hand on your heart, Barbie, and anybody else who wants to do this, okay? He's showing me a cord of love coming from our hearts to our loved ones on the other side. And to think about whoever it is that you're wanting to connect with. I mean, you're already corded to them. And again, this kind of cord is a love cord. It's not negative. It can never be dysfunctional. Okay. This is unconditional love. So imagine that cord, see if you'll imagine that cord going to your father or anybody else doing this with us, going to your loved one, seeing that cord being accepted and firmly planted in their heart, and just feel that connection and see the energy. He's showing me the energy going back and forth, like the love flowing back and forth, like it flows from your dad to you, Barbie, and then back. Like it just flows easily and effortlessly back and forth. It's not one way, it's both of them. Okay. And just see if you imagine that flow of love just strengthening and strengthening. And as we do this, we're really anchoring it into our reality, into our experience. We anchor something by repeating it, by seeing it, by feeling it, right? By visualizing it and making it be as visceral and as real as we can. So just feel that connection and see the love, feel the love, see the light. You might see colors, you might see the energy. Some of you might not think you see anything. That's okay. It's still happening, even if you can't see it. It's still happening. Just feel that. And now for Barbie and everyone else too, I want you to ask in your mind the question of your loved one, whatever it might be. It could be, what do you want me to know? It could be, how are you doing? Whatever it is you want to ask the question and trust the next thing that you perceive, that you feel, see, hear, or know, whatever comes to you. It might even be some image that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. Just trust the next thing that you experience. So Barbie, can you tell me if you got anything? Or maybe you're still in the experience.
I am seeing, I do see colors. So I'm seeing it's going from like pink to purple. Not feeling the message.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're really making the connection right now. You guys have always had the connection. What we're doing here is wanting to really strengthen it so that you start feeling, remember, like feeling it viscerally, so that they can transmit their love to you. They always have been. It's just that Alan's saying it's more on our end, like, because we got so many things going on with us ourselves, right? If the more we can love ourselves unconditionally, the easier it is for them to come through. You know, it's harder when we don't, or if we're in a lot of grief, it's harder, but it doesn't mean it's impossible, okay? Because Alan was really strong and intense in the love he was broadcasting to me, that in spite of the grief I had, he could get through. So he says he's going to help them to really strengthen to get through, but it's easier for them the more we can clear the grief and any other negative emotion that is lingering with us. Okay, I think that makes sense to everybody, right? Like you kind of have to line up your energy with them, but you don't have to be perfect, because I'm saying nobody in the body's perfect. You can't be perfect, but the clearer you are, the more calm you are, the more open you are. And especially if you let go of any resentment or issues you may have had with the person on the other side, then it's easier for them to come through. But he's saying, then again, there are souls on their side who are so determined to come through, and their energy can be so strong that almost nothing will stop them. But every soul is different. So, we can't say for sure what's going to happen. He just does his best to help. Okay, so your dad says, well, he says, I want her to trust herself more and let go of the past and really live in the now, because these years that are coming, like the rest of your life, he says, he's seen it and it's going to be amazing. Okay, it can be amazing. So he wants you to cast this big vision for yourself, for your life, because he wants to help you with that.
Okay.
Is there something you want to ask him that you're struggling with? Because he keeps seeming to focus on the future and showing me like the sun rising and saying, like he goes back to that song, "Don't you worry about a thing." Like it's gonna work out. Just keep going. Does that make sense to you? Do you have any questions?
Yes, that does make sense to me because I feel like I'm stuck. You know, like I'm here, but I want to be somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I think he's telling me to trust myself and to move forward.
He's saying to take it day by day, that keep affirming that what you want and envisioning you receiving that. You're going to be guided step by step. He says you can't get it like right now. You can't go from here to get it right there. He says it can be fast. Don't get me wrong, but he's saying there's things you have to go through right now. And so he's going to help you. And also, please, Alan can help you too to clear like obstacles. That's why I like to tell people, you've got two people on your side on your team to help you. Your loved one that you're wanting to kick with, like in your case, your father, right? Mm-hmm. And then Alan, like, okay, he can help you move mountains too. So you're going to be very much guided. So it's about trusting what you're feeling each day in the moment and know that this is a gradual journey and you're going to be guided. Whether the guide is someone like a loved one, like your dad, or an angel or a spirit guide, they can only give us what we can handle like right now, like today. They don't say, oh, by the way, next month. I mean, they might kind of give you a bigger vision, but generally it's like, okay, do this first, and then do this next, and then do this thing. So the more you can live in the now and just do what is in front of you, what you're guided to do, and do your best with it, then you'll see that you're getting to where you want to go. But the frustration, which I completely understand, is that, you know, you see where you're going to go and you go, well, I just want to be there already. Like, why can't I be there already? Or how am I going to get there? You know, because a lot of times that comes into play. Like you see it, but you can't understand how that's even going to work. And he says, that's not your job.
Okay.
Not my job is to trust the guidance as it shows up day by day and be clear on your intention of your vision of, you know, this is what I want for myself, and then just live it. Okay. And your dad is going to be, I'm saying, when you're feeling frustrated, he says, play that song because your dad's giving it to you. Because you'll feel your dad come in on that song. I don't know if that's the name of the song. I mean, I can hear Stevie Wonder singing the song in my head. Don't you worry about a thing. And I know you can find it if you go on.
Oh, I know
whatever.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
I know the song.
He's saying when you're feeling worried or frustrated, play that song. You'll feel your dad come through, and he's going to lift you up, and you're going to know that okay, I know what I'm doing. I got it. Okay. He's giving you the song, and Alan is big on songs. So in our group we have, as everybody knows who's in our group, almost every week, here's another song Alan gave me, here's another song. And he says music is a very powerful way for the other side to connect with us, because it's all music is channeled. It's all coming from, and we're not talking about, of course, there's some music that's horrible, right? I mean, we all know.
Yeah.
We're not including that category like heavy metal or something. Although he says some of them might be okay, but in general, no, we're not talking about that. But music, generally speaking, is channeled from the higher realms. So it's encoded. It's got energies and frequencies that will help us. And especially if our loved one has given us a song, it means that this is going to connect us with them. And that's why I'm constantly playing the music that Alan gave me, because it just keeps opening me up to him. And be open to your dad maybe bringing another song to you. Like You'll know if he is giving you another song if you hear something and all of a sudden you feel like there's energy around it, or you feel chills or goosebumps or tingling or something, or that's a sign, because they communicate with us that way too, through
Okay.
physical. That you might even, okay, he's saying some people might start sneezing. Like, how come I'm sneezing? It can be something physical.
Oh.
That's a sign to you that, okay, I'm letting you know that pay attention to that song. This is a message from me, right? So we listen to the lyrics are often that the song's being given. The lyrics are usually an important part of the message too, as well as how the song makes you feel. But yeah, the message and is the lyrics. He's saying it's just easier for them to do that than, and he's saying too, then the music like opens us up, and then it becomes easier for us to hear them, like to
Okay.
hear them in our head, to hear them or get what they're saying, right? It's he really feels that we who want to connect with the other side should focus on our emotions, like feeling the love for them and feeling. That's why songs will help open us up and help us connect with them. So anybody who's in our group knows that we recommend them checking out our playlist and seeing what songs on there they resonate with, because quite often their loved ones on the other side would agree that that particular song would, help them connect with you. So we're not saying all the songs on the playlist are for everybody, although a lot of people in my group will play all the songs. But they all came, he said some of those songs were put on there from me to Alan. Most of them were from him though. Most of them were songs that he either gave me directly or through other people.
Okay.
So check that out. But music is really a powerful way for us to connect to them. Okay. So I hope that helps, and let us know how that goes. But yeah,
I just have one question. So when you say, so I can call upon Alan too, anytime.
Yeah, you can call upon
Is that
Alan
correct?
for help with anything. Like if he says anything. That's why he's anxious for our book to be published, because he anticipates people asking him who don't know anything about us, who just call on him. When you call on him, you're calling on both of us. But people will often have said that they see him or feel him. But he says, wherever he goes, I go too. Like he can only do what he does because of me. That's how it was explained to me, that I anchor his presence into the 3D world so that he can affect it more, like do more. So call on him for everything. If people call on him for anything, for help with taking the test, for sleeping, for helping them get over a cold, for he's really saying anything. Like he's saying, what do you have to lose? Like just asking for help for something. He says he can't guarantee 100% that he can do everything.
Right.
Some things are necessary for us to go through on our own, but there's a lot that he can do that he could only do if somebody gave him permission. Now that said, he wants me to say to people, he wants to make this point. There are people, some in our group, some people who I've only talked outside, who have actually asked Alan to help people that don't even know about it, right? That like they don't even know who he is. They don't even know what this is all about. They just want to send their friend or their loved one help. And he can do that. The way that works is he goes to the person's soul or higher self, whatever you want to call that, and say, hey, can I help you? Would you like my help? And if he gets a yes, then he goes right to work. I've had somebody in my group asked us during a reading to help her friend who was in a coma. And the guy, when he came out of the coma, the guy said, he described me and Alan. He knew my name was Pamela Johnson and all these things. And he didn't know anything, but Alan had immediately gone to him and said, and got permission. So he showed up and he was with him until he got better. And we have the documentation about, what transpired and how I was there too. And he saw me praying over him, and that I told him that he would heal his terminal cancer and not to listen to the doctors. and that but he said I kept praying over him. So, but Alan was more like up in the air or something. I don't know. He was more in the etheric. He's more like Merlin or Gandalf or whatever you want to call it, and the etheric, and I'm more here in the physical, keeping things grounded is kind of how it's explained to me. So call on him for anything, and he wants people to do that because the more people who call on him, the stronger he gets. And the stronger he gets, then the more he can help, and that's all he wants to do is help. That's all we both want to do. So yeah, so ask him to help and let us know what happens for you. And if you're not in our group already, join our group, guys. Like our Facebook group, Supernatural Love and Life After Death.
Yep. I'm in.
So,
I'm in.
Great, cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Yay. So
Thank you
let
so
us know
much.
how that goes. You're welcome, Barbie. Okay, let me just see here. Okay, now he's showing me Dawn. Dawn, Otsuka, you wanted to talk to
Hi.
Eunice, your mom.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, my son's like talking story. Here he is.
That's
Hey,
okay.
what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Okay. All right. So Dawn, you want to connect with your mom.
Sorry, what was that question?
You wanted to connect with your mom, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, just a second.
Mhm.
Can you tell me when she passed?
2007, September.
Okay, Alan's saying to me something about your mom having this soft, gentle energy, and that she's over there. I don't know why he's showing me knitting.
Oh.
Well, she's knitting over there anyway. I don't know if she knitted when she was here. He's showing me knitting. Like she just likes being there because it's great. She gets to have time to herself, which somehow is saying, oh, hold on a minute. I know what happened. Hold on just a second. I lost my I gotta strengthen my connection. Here we go. That's better. I was wondering why the feed was getting wonky. Okay, I had to get plugged into the hardwired in the internet. So did your mom knit? Like what's with the knitting?
Mm-mm.
What? She's
No,
knitting
she
now.
never-
She's showing me this whole thing like this I don't know, this whole thing. So he's showing me that. Okay, hold on. She's talking, she's putting that aside. She's saying, I want her to know, she wants you to know that I come to her in her dreams and I check in. And I want her to know that everything that I went through in my life was important for my soul's growth. And I have no regrets about anything that happened to me, that I did or that I didn't do. And I'm much happier over here. And I will be waiting for you, but I don't want you to worry about anything related to me and past until to just live your life and know that she says she's very much around you and your family, like a lot, not all the time. She's not like kind of hanging out in your house. Sometimes they do, but she's around you a lot, especially around, she says, you're the little one. Like she's around like a lot. Does he ever see somebody who's not there?
When he was little, maybe when he was like a baby, I would wonder, or sometimes my dog, but like, I don't know, nothing recently.
But does your dog sometimes sense things? Because she says she comes in and somebody or either somebody or something like the dog or even your son like feels her and reacts.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Maybe you don't notice it because a lot of times people don't notice it until they start thinking about it. Like, oh yeah, my dog was acting kind of weird the other day because she says she pops in. I don't know why she keeps saying, I want her to let go of the past. My past, her past, the past. She keeps showing me the past. Do you know what that would be about? She keeps like repeating that and
Well,
saying,
she had a hard battle with cancer, and that was really challenging.
was that traumatic for you?
Oh yeah.
Right? Because, you know, she's fine. She keeps showing me the knitting again. I don't know what with the knitting. It's like she's taking up knitting over there, okay? She's saying
We got
she's fine and having a good time, but maybe that's what it is. She's worried about you in the past and not worried about how she left or what she went through, because it's all ancient history. Like she's over all that. It was over the minute she crossed, but then she shows me she kept looking back because she knows how it impacted you and others, okay, and family, and she feels bad about that, although she knows there's nothing could have been done about it. So if that, because now Alan's saying it is kind of it's like in the back of your mind, it's still like a cloud, like on some level it affects you. Are you aware of it affecting you?
Yeah, I just miss having her here.
Right. So here again, put your hand on your heart, and I'd like you to feel your connection with your mom. Okay, because she's really amplifying it now, because she wants to come through and let you feel her love and her support. She's saying to me that she wants to talk to you, like mind to mind, and that you can. Okay, I don't know. Are you in our group?
I am.
Dawn? Okay. So in the near future, we're going to more teach about that. So if you feel guided to do that later, you know, you could get involved in that, but you can start now. It says Alan says to just feel her, and if you have a photo of her, to just look at it and imagine you're having a conversation with her. Okay. And he says, even if you think you're making it up, he says what they do on the other side is they find a way to insert their message. Like you might think you're thinking it up. He goes, let that go and just trust whatever comes. It's not necessarily easy, you know, but the more you just keep practicing it, and he says, really just imagine it. Imagination is not make believe. Imagination is a creative power that we have to visualize something and imagine it using our mind into manifestation. So rather than thinking that it's make believe, he says, think of it as, a creative tool. Okay, that's really what it is. And he says, that's why our society, Western society especially, kind of denigrates it, puts it down, because they don't want us to have the power. Because if you knew that your imagination was the source of your power to create your life and everything you wanted, then everybody would be doing it and everything would change. Like people would be liberated. But if they told us instead that, it's all make believe, it's not real, like you're wasting your time, then we're disempowered. And then we're letting other people like take control. So he says, she really wants to come through. He wouldn't necessarily tell everybody to do this, and everybody can try it, by the way, who's listening to this, but he can see with your mom that she really wants to come through and she has the ability to come through. So if you practice and just believe, right, and just practice, and just because it takes time, you have to keep talking and listening, in time it gets smoother, and you start to really feel like it's happening. But you're working against the conditioning that you have, like all of us have had, that these things can't be real. That, you know, how can I be talking to my mom? Like, she's not here. Like, that's what we're up against. So, but you'll break through that if you keep practicing on your own. Then what you're doing is you're kind of teaching your subconscious, no, this is real, this is real, this is real. I'm doing it, right? You're kind of really laying that track down. You the more you use that track, that connection, the stronger it gets, and your subconscious just basically kind of goes, okay, I give up. Like it may not completely accept it, but it's not gonna fight you so much. Your logical mind won't fight you this much. It'll be able to coexist, if that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for being on the call today. Okay, I'm just gonna mute you. All right. All right, hold on, let me just see. It's telling me to go down. And we may come back up, so don't worry. I might tell me to come down for now. I might go back, roll back up again. Just showing me. Okay, he's showing me Christina. Christina Pereira.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
No problem. Hi, Christina.
Hi.
So I think I remember your stepson, Orlando.
Yeah.
You had lost touch with him.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
First, right away. I'm seeing Orlando giving you a big hug, like right now, and
Oh,
kissing you on the cheek, and he's saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He's saying that he was kind of kept away. I don't know what he means by that. Like he wasn't kind of allowed, like it would have created problems. And he seems like, to me, like he was always a kind of young person that was like a peacemaker. Like he wanted like everybody to, like, he didn't want anybody to get riled up, right? Like Alan's telling me he reminds him of our son, Taylor. And Taylor, for example, showing you about the sensitivity, similar sensitivity. If Alan and I got into a little heated argument, not even an argument, just discussion, and I just get a little loud, our son would go, "Don't argue, like stop arguing." We go, "We're not arguing, we're just talking." If he sensed like there was any discord, he didn't like it. He said similar with Orlando, right? Like he just wanted everybody to get along. So I feel like there's some problems that would have occurred if he more like kept in touch with you. And something about he couldn't like not tell the truth, like say, I don't know, was he like that? Like, in other words, if he tried to stay in touch with you and then had to admit it to his parents, would he get in trouble?
yes. His mom and grandma, they had bad relations with my husband. And when I came in, they really didn't want me to be a part of Orlando's life.
Right.
And one time I went by, I was in the area, so I stopped by to see Orlando because I had my daughter, which is his sister. And just because of me stopping by that day, and they found out, they called my husband saying, "Tell your wife never to come by here again."
Right. He felt really bad about that and everything that was happening, but he's saying he couldn't, I don't know, he couldn't like not tell the truth. Like, and he would be asked. He said he said he was asked like if he was in touch with you guys, and he couldn't like lie. So he didn't like it, but he just said just to keep the peace, you know. Alan's saying that your stepson was an extraordinary person. And this is why, though, he left early. This happens sometimes with young people, whether they leave when they're like 5 years old or 20 or even 25. Okay, quite often, those who leave early, there's something different about them. There's something, I don't know how to explain it. They're on another level. They come in for a brief time. And so just know that that was his soul's choice. And you have access to him now. And he knew that would happen. He knew that, well, when I cross over, I'm not saying consciously knew, I'm saying his soul knew. When I cross over, I can see them all the time. I can see whoever I want to see. But right now, when I'm a body, I don't have that choice. But when I'm over here, which he is now, he says, I can see them whenever I want to. I can help them. I can guide them. I can love them. I can do everything. Okay. He's saying in time, you actually are going to see him clairvoyantly. Okay. Because he's very strong in his ability to show himself. But, you know, it's going to take time. You got to get ready for that. But he very much wants that. And then he's laughing. He's telling me, Alan is a riot. I go, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. He goes, yeah, Alan's teaching me. He says, I'm gonna be able to come through more, but not yet, not yet. And that you and your husband, whoever wants to connect with him, got to work through your grief. And he says, please forgive them. Please forgive them for what they did. And Alan's saying, understand that the dynamics in your family, that's all karmic. It's past life related. You've been repeating these patterns of intense jealousy and rivalry. He says it's almost, not quite, Kate, but almost like Romeo and Juliet. Almost like that, okay? That kind of like battling, and that not so much on your side. I'm just saying on their side. Like they don't even know, like, why the hell are we so mad? Like, what are we so riled up about? Alan goes, it's past life. Okay, so it's, and that's done. It's kind of got buried. Not that he got buried, I'm not saying that, but got buried with him. Like it kind of got cut off at the knees when Orlando crossed over, but there's still resentment on their side. You can't do anything to change their attitude toward you folks, okay? But you got to forgive them for your sake. And especially if you want to connect with Orlando, because he's just pure unconditional love, which he kind of was when he was here, but now over there, that's all he is. So if you want to connect with him, you got to open up to that love and let go of the resentment and sadness and pain, and know that he's saying to me that he chose that life and he knew that that was going to happen with them. Okay, that this dynamics, his soul knew that was what he's going to step into, and he said he did that to heal this. It may not look like it's been healed, but he's saying now, because you are going to forgive them, it is going to get healed. It's not about what they do, it's about what you do, because you and your husband, like your family, you're going to take the higher road and say, this ends. Like, I'm going to forgive them, love them anyway, and let go and be free of it. So you're going to end the karma, so it doesn't have to keep repeating. And he's going to help you do that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Makes lots of sense, especially because my daughter holds resentment. She feels, and my husband feels, and I do feel at times that his family was the fault of why he passed, because they were these selfish type people towards us. And like I said, like they didn't even want me involved in Orlando's life or his sister for that fact.
So now he's telling me for you to understand that he was there because he was trying to heal them. Like they needed him. He said, you guys, you loved him very much and you wanted him to be there to share in the love and share, right? But you didn't really need him like they did. So he went where he was needed, because he's an evolved soul. So evolved souls go where they're needed. Like, you understand what I mean? So with you all, it would have been wonderful and love, fun, love, whatever, right? But he says, I came here to do a job, and the enjoyment of life was secondary, because he said, I knew when I got to the other side, I could enjoy life, and that we're all going to reconnect and we're going to enjoy life too. Like what we didn't get to do in this life, we're going to get to do over there. So he knew, like, well, I can put that aside. I'm needed over here. He was trying to just at least soften them up. Okay, maybe not heal them completely, but soften them up. And he said he did a little bit, but he couldn't, he couldn't really resolve everything. It was a lot more entrenched than he realized, but he did what he could, and he's happy with what he could do. He feels like, okay, I did as much as I could do. That's all I could do. I could only do the best I can do. And he knows he did the best he can do. And it was time to go. He says, no, nobody's to blame for his passing. He says he was always in complete control, whatever way it looked, because the soul is in complete control. So he exited when he did, because that was the plan. That was the time.
Okay, well,
Okay.
just because it's so unknown to us exactly how like he suddenly passed away, right? So that's why. And then after speaking with his girlfriend was like, well, he didn't really care about his dad. He never talked or said anything about him. So kind of concerned about, you know, what was going on all this time that he wasn't contacting us, right?
He keeps saying he knew things would kind of blow up. And he was not one to talk about you folks. He just didn't feel, it didn't mean he didn't care. He just didn't, and I think he had issues with his girlfriend anyway. That's what he's telling me. It wasn't a perfect relationship anyway. So he didn't feel, he's telling me he didn't feel he could really tell her. Like he didn't want that to come out. Like, it's almost like I can't let anything come out. And I don't know, he's not really showing me how he passed, but I do see, I mean, did he drink alcohol? Because he's showing me drinking and I saw pills. So I don't know whether, but he seems reticent about saying what it is because, yeah, he just doesn't want to go there. So he was showing me drinking and I saw pills in front of him.
Yes, he was on very strong seizure medication. So, and I was told that he would he would do more than what he should have on that medication.
Yeah, it was probably that then, because he just keeps showing me, I saw pills, like more than one. It wasn't just one, it was a bunch of pills. And then I saw like drinking, but I knew it was alcohol, not water. So he's saying that was basically it. But also choose when they die. So technically, whether you want to call it suicide or not, all death is suicide, meaning that the soul says, okay, I'm going, and this is how I'm going to go. And not consciously, but subconsciously, right? Like, okay, I'm going to go to an accidental overdose maybe, or because I'm going to get a car accident, or I'm going to get cancer, or whatever it is, it's still chosen by the soul. But just know that it wasn't, nobody did anything to him. He said it was all him. It was all on him.
Okay.
Okay, don't blame them.
Okay. It makes
Okay,
me feel a lot better knowing that.
No, don't blame them. He was just, keeps saying, I was there on assignment. They were my assignment, and I'm done with that assignment. I can be with you. He's with them too, okay? Because there's only love in the universe. So even though they were not the nicest to him or to you or you guys, he still loves them because there is only love. He understands that they're just, the word he's using for them is tormented. Like they're tormented people, and that's why they behave the way they behave. But they needed him. You didn't. You would want him to be there.
Yeah.
That's different. Okay. You didn't need him like he was needed there. And he says, because of the soul that he is, he always goes where he's needed. Like,
Okay.
where can I help? It wasn't about where am I going to have a good time. It was all about where can I do the work I'm here to do? Where can I be of service? Yeah, he's very much a soul that was service oriented, which means he's a higher level, not not like a new soul or average kind of soul. Okay, so he's with you. He's coming. Alan's saying he's coming through a lot of love, and he's going to connect with you more. So please share in our group. I know you're in our group. Like if you get more messages from him, because Alan's going to help him to come through more. You might even find things like moving in your house, like Alan's doing, like wacky things with me now that he wasn't doing.
My daughter has.
Your daughter has what? Are things moving in your house?
She's turned to me and told me Orlando's playing with me.
Yeah. How old is your daughter?
She's 9, turning 10.
Okay, because a lot of times Alan says they're easier for them to come through and move things around when there's a young person in the house. It doesn't have to be that way, but when there's a young person in the house, and yeah, he's going to move stuff around, like that'll be a sign for you, right? Like, okay, he's just letting us know he's here. Like he moved you know, that, or turn something on, or that kind of thing. But yeah, it's his way to say, hey, I'm here. And he seems now, he's very playful now. Like, so, because he's having a good time over there. So he wants to have fun. So yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of visitations.
That's nice. I
Lots
would
of
love.
happening. And the more you lighten up and not feel the heavy grief and not hold the resentment, the more he can come through. Okay, so that's another incentive for you to let that go, forgive them, move on, know that he's in a good place, and he's going to come through and reassure all of you that, no, I'm here, I'm good. Like, he's saying, oh no, Alan's saying, oh yeah, he's going to mess with you.
Yeah, he was a joker, so.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
why Elm's going. The two of them are like peas in a pod. Okay, what havoc can we wreak here? Like, what can we do? Because that's why, yeah, Orlando's like laughing, like, oh God, you have my condolences about the crazy mischief that's going to happen. But know that he's really happy over there, and he's waiting for you folks to get over there. Okay, and he's going to show you the grand tour when you get over there, whenever you guys come, whenever your times are come. So you'll have a big party and have that to look forward to. But you're going to hear from him. You don't have to wait for that. You're going to hear from him and probably see him too, because he's strong. He's strong. And also Alan says because he's evolved. So he can. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Tam.
You're
and
welcome.
Alan.
You're
Love
welcome,
you both.
Christina. Love you too. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Alan, where are you going? Alan wants to go to Danielle. Danielle, can you unmute yourself?
Hi.
Danielle,
Hi, I'm here, Pamela. Hello.
Danielle, okay, you're wanting to connect to Chris?
Yeah, he
Okay.
passed recently in April, actually.
Why? Okay, hold on. Would there be a reason why he's hunched over? Like, was he feeling burdened, or was he physically like, wait, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't 100% know
No.
why he passed, but he wasn't feeling well leading up to it.
You don't know the cause of, are you saying you don't know the cause of death?
No, we know it was a cardiac arrest, but they're dumbfounded as to what could have caused it. It wasn't an issue with the heart. So they're not 100% sure why.
I don't know. Because I keep when I tune in, I get him like this, like he's crunched over and weighed down, and he says, all he keeps saying, and Alan's like nodding when I think this thought, I hear, well, it was just my time. I need to go. I know it doesn't make sense. Like, I need to go. And Alan's going, yeah, like it was his time to leave. Not that he wanted to leave. You have to understand that when they say, well, it was my time and I had to go, it's the soul saying that. The conscious mind is not wanting to go, would never want to go. Would say, well, I want to stay here forever. I want to stay here until she goes. But he's saying like it was his time and he had to go. And Alan's saying he kind of made that happen, that souls can do that. They can just like, okay, I'm going. And then they cross and people go, well, what happened? Like he says, this is not, Alan's saying that's not that unusual, although it is unusual. Okay, so, but now Chris is showing me flowers for you. Is there some occasion coming up that is special for you or for your family?
Well, it's our eldest's birthday coming up in 3 weeks, and then mine next month, I guess. So
he has this big bouquet, but he says he says that one is more for her. Okay. But he says, you're going to get something later. I don't know what he means by that. Like he's going to come through with some sort of message for you or make his presence known to you. Because
Right.
Alan says he really wants to, like you're going to get a sign. Okay. So because he says that, it was such a shock and you still can't quite believe it. But he's saying to me that he had to cross over because he has to help you and the rest of the family from the other side. Like help with a lot of things. And they can do that. They can help us more when they're in spirit than when they're in a body. Okay, so, and Alan's like nodding, going, right. He's gonna help you more. He's gonna guide you. He's gonna sort out problems for you. He's gonna kind of pre-pave the way for certain things. Okay, so he's saying he wants you to start really looking for the signs that he's gonna start giving you.
Right.
And messages too, okay? Because he really wants to communicate with you so that you know what is in his mind and what's in his heart and that he wants to tell you, right?
Yeah.
And Alan's saying it shouldn't be that hard for you to do that. You might think it is, like to talk to him, but it will be fairly easy if you practice.
Right. I feel him. Like he's made himself known already, and I want to be 100% sure that I am seeing what I'm seeing and I'm hearing what I'm hearing, and
Yes.
yeah.
Well, why don't you think you are?
Because it's so fresh that you just, and of course it's our human brain, right?
Well,
our human brain is trained to think, oh, is I crazy?
Yeah. So let go of that. So you're in our group, right? So you're in the right place because this is all we talk about. So you're with other people who are having the same experience or who want that same experience, right? Who hold the belief that that's possible. Then you make it easier for him to come through because you got to be with other people who, who are under the same mindset. Because you go out to the rest of the world, they're just going to tell you, you got to go see a doctor. Like you got to go get a prescription because they're not going to understand it. They're not going to understand it. So you are, and he's saying he's coming through and he's going to keep coming through because he's strong on the other side. Alan says he's a soul that Alan doesn't need to help too much to come through and communicate in a loud way or even, show. Also, Alan's saying that you're naturally psychic. Do you understand that?
Yeah, actually, I think I might be. Like, I feel things that,
right.
And
You're
again,
empathic.
you question yourself,
Okay.
right?
Okay, so when someone is strongly empathic, it's usually, not always, but usually easier for them to feel spirit, right? Like to feel the presence, feel the love, just feel their energy, because they're all energy. But Alan's saying you're also clairvoyant. That's gonna get stronger because he's gonna like really help you with that. And Alan's gonna help you with that too. So
thank you.
You're having the experience already. It's just going to get stronger, and as you let go of the grief, because I know it's still there, and I can't tell you that it's never going to go away. I mean, I still like every night I cry a little bit. I tell Alan, you gotta just let me cry because then I'll get over it. but the body wants them, and we're not really our body, but the body still is kind of sad. So just understand that, like, even though your mind and your heart knows, like, well, I'm talking to him, he's here, I feel him and all that, that the body might occasionally go, yeah, but, so whatever experience is fine, just go with it and just keep talking to him.
Right, okay.
Alan says he's gonna get louder. And he says, we don't even have to do the heart thing to connect the heart. He goes, they're already like locked in, like he's like, really tuned into you, and the connection is really strong. So just share, talk about your experiences. Here's the other thing Alan's saying. the more we talk about these experiences we're having with our loved ones on the other side, the more we lay the groundwork for having more of that. Because when you talk about something, you write it and share it with other people, you make it real in this world. Whereas if you just had your experience and kept it to yourself and you never shared it with anybody or never wrote it down or what have you, it's he says it's like fleeting. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but what happens when you talk about it and you write it down and share it, it becomes more in this 3D world and it brings them into the 3D world. So you understand what I mean?
I do.
The more, when you talk about something, you make it more solid. So you want something to keep happening, talk about it. Talk about it with people that will accept it and embrace it and not, scoff or roll their eyes and will say, great, good for you. That's so cool. Like, what else happened? Like, tell us something else, right? That's what you want. And then it's going to just make more of that happen.
Right.
Make sense for everybody here. So share the little things and the big things, whatever. That's why you see me in the group share about all kinds of things that happen with Alan, from something small to something crazy like the orb thing, like he's making happen for Mira's garage. Because I know that if I write about that, the more he's gonna do. The more that door opens between him and I and the other side. So same with you, okay?
Thank you, Pamela, and
You're welcome. Alan, he's saying Alan. Alan's going, don't forget my name. he's just being silly. But thanks, Danielle. I'm so glad. I know you just joined our group. I'm so happy to have you.
thank
Happy
you.
to have you here. All right, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, all right, and show me who you want to talk to. Okay, saying more, okay. All right, show me. Well, first I want to share what Smita just posted in the group about many come in to finish off a little something left over from a previous life, and in a short time they're able to experience it and go. Many prodigies also die young too, right? So there's so many reasons why people come in for a brief time, and Smita is our expert in past life regression, among many other things, right? So thank you so much for sharing. And we're going to have Smita back to do kind of I don't know if we call it a class or a talk, whatever, on soulmates, probably later this month. So we'll be doing that. So it should be fun. Hold on. Okay, Alan, show me who you want. And Smita says what she just shared was about Orlando. Okay. All right, Alan wants to go to Dana, her grandmother and Mary. Dana, are you still here? Can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
As soon as I tune into your grandmother, she shows me like this crown and she's putting it on your head. What that means, like putting this crown on your head, saying something about she's arrived. Like I want to celebrate her. What is okay now? Now Alan's saying Alan's coming in and saying, what's going on with you spiritually?
I don't know, because I've been seeing like a lot of angel numbers, and it's like the 1111, 111, 444, 555. Like almost every day it's one or two, if not more.
He's saying, and then your grandmother's like going, yeah, that's kind of what that you've got. The other side is trying to give you a lot of messages, like trying to like say, God, come through, I get out there. Like get out there. Like what are you doing? Are you not putting yourself out there to do your spiritual work? Are you putting that because Alan's going up, jumping up and down?
I think like right now, just because I think just like physically in the physical world, like I'm so focused on this job that I've had for about 3 months now because I'm enjoying it. So, and because my schedule with that is weird, I'm not necessarily like putting myself out there as much as I used to before.
Well, because again, now I see your grandmother again, and she's still putting the crown on your head, saying like, "Hey, come on, you're the queen of your life. You're in charge of your life. Like, what are you doing? Like put yourself a little bit out there. Maybe not all of yourself out there, but you show me like a finger or a toe or something. Like, let me put a little bit of myself out there." And she's saying, but she's not doing that even. Like, you got to do a little bit of something. This is what you came into. Well, you know that. This is like a big part of you. Oh, she's saying a huge part of you. Like your spiritual path is huge for you. But now Alan's saying, in terms of you really diving into that, it may not happen till you're older. But that doesn't mean you wait until you're older before you do it. He says you gotta keep your hand in. You gotta keep it going. And now your grandmother, I see jumping up and down. That's what I'm trying to like get through to her. That's with all the numbers. It's not just your grandmother giving a message, it's your whole team, your whole spirit team. And now they're all jumping up and down saying, yes, we're trying to get her attention, that to keep her hand in to her spiritual work and not let real life completely take over, although it's important that you do that right now too. Well, and now Alan's saying in about another 3 months or so, that you probably feel you have the time or can breathe a bit, like, okay, I can do this now, like I can get more into what I want to do. But he says still, make it a priority, like keep it in your mind that, okay, this is important. I got to keep my hand in, or at least my finger in. So he's saying, at least a toe in it, or a finger. Okay, was there any question you have for your grandmother?
No, just it's more that like when I was younger, I always used to feel her or hear her or like smell something that would make me think of her. And then just as the years go on, I think especially after my dad passed, because I was so focused on trying to like connect more with him, I wouldn't notice her. And it's not that I knew she wasn't there. Like I know she's there. It's just she doesn't, or at least I can't perceive it.
Well, I think she is coming through a lot with the numbers. She's saying she didn't want to either distract you from connecting with your dad or something, so she's coming through with the numbers. The numbers are easier.
Okay,
wait a minute. Well, she's pointing at Alan going, Alan showed me how to do that. Yeah, blame Alan like we all do. We all blame Alan for everything. She goes, yeah, that's easier. And that's more fun because you because you don't miss it. Because they nudge us to even look at the clock or something when we happen to look at it and see the number, right? We happen to look at our phone or turn our head or whatever. They're the ones that go, hey, right now. Like they just give us the impulse, and it's easy for them to make us look at something and see the number. So she likes that because she says she likes the feeling that she can nudge you and get you to do something rather than just having a smell or something like that. So she really loves that, and she prefers that. Okay. But she's around you a lot, and she says, please connect and let yourself grow with this because you're only getting started. really only getting started, and you're going to dive more into it in the years to come. And that was how you planned it as a soul. You kind of know that you weren't going to like embrace this when you were younger and get fully into it. But you knew you had to lay the foundation and keep things going and keep opening. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. But it is going to come. And Alan's saying he's going to help you with that. And you are going to be, I don't know if do I want to say that, Alan? He goes, you're going to be known for that. You're going to be known for what you're going to do down the road. You know, you are going to be known. He's always laughing, going, not that she's going to have this major YouTube channel or something, you have a 2 gazillion followers, but you're going to be known. And so, you know, that's why you have to keep on learning and growing and expanding as a soul. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Dana. So good to see you. Okay, we're gonna go on. Oh, Alan's saying one more. Okay, just show me who you want to talk to. Oh, Mark says he has to go. So grateful for you, Pam and Alan. Being so generous in doing this. I'm going to drop. Okay, Mark. Sorry, we couldn't get to you. Who did you want to talk to, Alan? All right, he said he's going to end with Marianne Johnson, who would like to speak to her dad, Maurice. Marianne?
Okay, I'm here.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so your dad, Maurice, when did he pass?
2000, around the year 2000, yeah. August 13, 2000, at the stroke of midnight.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know he chose that, right?
He did. He had a lot to do with his own
Passing.
Yeah.
Well, we all choose when we pass. He's saying, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Well, he's showing me like on the other side, like him, like this muscle man. I know he couldn't have possibly been like that when he passed, but he's showing me that now, like he's all proud, like I'm this young muscle builder guy. Okay, because he said he wasn't like that when he was here. And did your dad have any issues with depression?
Yep.
Because he's saying he was sad.
Yeah,
He showed me like frowning, like sad. He was depressed. But that's why he's showing me all like muscle building, and he's all like charged up and pumped up and feeling great, right? Like showing me like I'm so alive now, physically, mentally, emotionally. But then he showed me it was sad when he was here. And he said because of the depression, his health was affected by that, his attitude. But he says, understand that he came into this life to deal with that sadness, that tendency towards depression. He said he wasn't always that way, but he would tend to worry, like look at things or look at the glass half empty instead of half full kind of thing.
Okay.
So he changed that a little bit later. He says that he comes to visit you from time to time. Like he's not around all the time, because he's saying to me now, well, she doesn't really need me. Not really. But I just come and check in, and she can always call on me if she does need me. Okay. But he keeps an eye on you.
Okay.
Okay. He's not really worried about you. He has a lot of love for you for sure. And now he's like kind of like bowing to you, like he respects you. He respects where you're at with your life. He respects what you've done with your life and wants you to know that he's proud of you.
Okay.
But he's saying that you're like him, but yet you're really not. You know, I don't know why he's saying that. Like she's like me, but you know, she's not. There are similarities, but he says where she's different, he says it's a good thing. kind of like, I don't know. He's Alan's going, stop, Pam, you're kind of getting confused. Do you have any questions for him?
Well, they've been doing things. I maintain their house in Redwood City or Emerald Hills, and they do things. Like when I go there, they do things to let me know they've been there. I know it's both of them, and I smell my mother in the car. I smell perfume coming back from church. So they do things, and I just kind of want to comment about that because some of them kind of freak me out. I find them
No.
frightening. Yeah.
Well, what are the things that are frightening?
Okay, so I go to the house and this light that never goes on is on and the front gate is wide open. And it's, I mean, it's just those kinds of things. Or the water heater that I knew I turned off is on and the water's hot for me. Just stuff. Or I've seen a little light go on in the ceiling and kind of a voice in my head saying, call your husband, kind of thing. And I knew it was one of them. And my husband was all frustrated because he couldn't find his keys or something. But I mean, just stupid things. And then when I tried to rent the house, they totally interfered to my detriment.
Okay. So Alan's going to have words with them. He's saying, you know, they're actually with the turning things on. He's saying they were trying to be helpful.
I know.
Like get it turned on because you're coming. It
Yeah.
wasn't like turn it on and nobody's there and they're going to be a problem. It's
Yeah.
more like they know they know what you're doing. So, but he wants to, they don't want anybody else in the house.
Yeah. And there's going to come a time when I just can't do it anymore. And I
Right.
don't want them to do the things they've done in the past.
Right.
I mean,
So-
they really did something. Yeah. Let's leave it at that.
Right. Alan's going, yep. Okay. He's going to talk to them about
Okay.
backing off with that. Okay. Because they're okay. Now now Alan is showing me them kind of like holding onto the house. Like, no, but this is our house.
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell them, no, it's not anymore. Like you need to let it go. It's just a house.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, but they're very, very attached to it.
Uh-huh.
And he says, because there's two of them, it's hard. It was just one, but there's two of them and they're both like attached to it. So he says he has to like talk to them and untangle this because they really are.
Yeah.
He's saying, no, he's like, I hear him talking to them going, guys, there's other things for you guys to do. Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's other things to do on the other side.
I mean, and
Like, let me show you.
It went on and on and on. And I finally did stop running it. And I know they wanted me to enjoy the house and I'm thankful, but some of the things they did were kind of dangerous. Yeah.
He says they weren't fully aware that it was dangerous, not to the extent that you're aware, right? Like they didn't
It backfired.
Yeah. So he says your parents are both very powerful. He says because the house is such an emotional connection for them, it like gives them more power. And he's showing me that that kind of connection grounds them into the physical world in a way that they wouldn't be able to do with something else. But because it's their house, they have this emotional tie to it. And you know, they're putting all their energy and attention into it. And it's not, he says it's not really good for them either. That's what Alan's saying.
Okay.
But they don't see it that way. He says it's what they know.
Yeah.
So he's going to gently but persistently like say, look, you know, come look at what's over here. Like, let's go over here. Like, look at how it's affecting you. He said they don't fully get how it's negatively affecting you. They kind of do, but he says they don't see all the ramifications.
Okay.
He says because they're choosing not to, because they just want what they want. But you know, if they love you, so they wouldn't really want to hurt you. They just don't really see the big picture. Yeah, he's showing me like they're just seeing like what they want to see, like this.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just seeing what I
yeah.
want to see. They're not
Yeah.
saying like, how's it affecting you, and how will it affect you in the long run. So so Alan wants to show them. So he says it might take a little while, but he says, don't worry, I have a lot of time.
Well,
So-
when my sons are going to take over, and I don't want any of the trouble that I've had to
Right.
continue. You know, I've told my dad to go to the light, and I think he did leave the house.
Oh yeah, he did. They both went to their side, but they can come back. You see, like Alan's come back and he's creating mischief at Maria's house and moving things in my house, and it doesn't mean he's stuck here. You know,
Yeah.
people think that the spirit has to be like earthbound to do that. No, I mean they can come back and visit, and they often can move things around or do things like that. So that has nothing to do with it. But yeah, you need Alan to be the intermediary, because
Okay.
they don't, he says they don't really get it. He says they're starting to get it right now because of our conversation,
Okay.
but he says he wants to show them what else they can do on the other side, and
Okay.
how they can enjoy life over there, and prepare for the day whenever that comes when you join them,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
to get that life going. Because he says, yeah, they're not really living fully over there, okay, like they could. Because when
Okay.
you're on the other side, you're fully alive and you can do so many things, and they're still really stuck on the house.
Okay.
They're not, some people might have said, well, they're haunting the house or something, right? Because
I do feel it's
that's,
haunted.
yeah,
If
so
anyone
yeah,
comes,
that
yeah, they mess
technically
with
is
it.
when they're really wedded to a location and they really want to stay there and inhabit it. Technically, yeah, but Alan says, you know, that's just because they're so focused on it and they're
Okay.
not willing to let go. Technically, yeah, they're technically ghosts. But he goes, but they have transitioned. He's just trying to get them to like leave of their own accord. And he also says he's going to show them the potential future that would happen if they didn't, like how that would affect you or your sons. Like how would they affect your family, right? Like if they were just to stay, he's going to show them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why he's showing me like, he's so funny. Alan's so funny. He's showing me like, you know, in Scrooge, where then here's the ghost of Christmas future or something.
Yeah.
He's saying, here's what the future is going to look like. and they're going to go, oh my God, no, we don't want that. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to change that. All right. He says, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to show them this is what's going to happen if you don't change your ways. This is how it's going to affect your daughter and her sons. You know, do you want that? This is what's going to happen. He says, don't worry, it's not going to happen, that
Okay.
future, but he's just showing them.
Okay. Thank you.
He says to light a fire under them, to get out already. Get out, and you're dead, which means you're alive. I know it sounds funny, but he goes, when you're dead, you're finally alive. So get off of it and get out and enjoy life over there. He goes, it's ridiculous. Don't stay stuck on the earth. This is not the playground you thought it was. It's the playground's over there.
Well,
So
thank you.
hope
Yeah.
that helped. Okay.
Yeah, that did help. Thank you very much.
Okay, he's gonna work on them. I wouldn't worry about it, but let us know. Like, you're in my group, right? You're
I
in my,
am.
okay,
Yeah.
so to drop a line, and if you're having trouble, just drop a line. I don't think you should, or you can talk to Alan directly, but let's know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you, Pam.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, so we're wrapping it up. Sorry, couldn't get to everybody. We'll do this again. I don't know when, maybe in a couple of weeks or whatever. We tend to do this at least once a month, maybe twice a month. And before we close, I just wanted to say, first of all, really, really thank you for showing up, for being here, for being in our group. And if you're not in our group yet, join our group. It's gonna get more wild, guys. I mean, Alan's just getting stronger. He says, I'm just getting started. He says, wait till that book comes out. Like, oh my God. He can't wait for that. And we are gonna teach what he's kind of describing is mediumship, like one-on-one mediumship, like how to connect with your loved one on the other side. And that training is coming together. He's showing me the components of it. That training would apply to someone who just wants to also be a medium. Okay, but it's really focused on connecting with your loved ones in the spirit. And because if you're doing mediumship for the public, that's a whole different thing. And he's saying we're not really focusing on that, right? Like what we call platform mediumship, where you give public readings. This is more for people who want to connect with family member, friend, loved one. But what we're teaching can get somebody started. But we would say that if that was your goal, you could take our training and then move on to studying mediumship more professionally. But this could get you started for sure. But we really want to focus on helping people do what I've been doing with Alan, is connecting with him and being able to experience him. I'm starting to see him clairvoyantly. I hear him all the time and talk to him all the time. And most of all, and again, what we want to emphasize, I feel him more strongly. Every day it's strong. And I know, because I can't conjure up these feelings, I know that he's real. And I feel flooded with love, like most of the day. It comes on, like a lot of times when I'm listening to the music that he's chosen for me, or just randomly, he'll just come in and I feel uplifted. And I would say, I think anyone who's grieving a loved one would probably welcome that, to feel the love from your partner, or even from your mom or your dad, right? Or your child, or whoever, because the world needs more love. And perfect love only really exists on the other side. That's just the truth. So if you have a loved one on the other side, they have unconditional love to give you that probably very few people in a body can give you. So I think everyone can benefit from reaching out to their loved ones in the spirit world, to love them and support them and guide them, regardless of the type of relationship you had. But certainly if this person was your partner, your wife, your husband, your soulmate, your twin soul, they are part of you. They are connected to you for eternity. That love never ends, it never dies. Even if you had problems between you, the truth is the love is still there. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it ended. Doesn't matter if there was bad blood or hurt feelings or betrayal. None of that matters. When they get to heaven, they get to the other side, that all falls away, and all that remains is love. So thanks for joining us, and we'll have this replay posted in soon. And otherwise, if you're on my mailing list, you'll get notified. If you're in our group, you'll hear about it too. Oh, thanks, Chelsea, for saying that. What a refreshing session. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Yeah, same to you. And Sandra says, thank you, Pam and Alan. Oh, thanks, Sandra, for tuning in. And let's see, Danielle says, okay, thank you, Pam and Alan. Much love to everyone. Yeah, much love to all you guys. Hey, so everybody unmute and say goodbye, especially if we didn't get to talk to you. And happy birthday, Anne.
Bye.
Thank
Bye. Happy birthday, Anne.
Bye.
Happy
Anybody
birthday,
else?
Anne.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, what can I say? We're a rowdy bunch. I blame it on Alan. I blame everything on Alan. That's the bumper sticker, right, Maria? It's all
Yeah.
Alan's fault.
Yeah,
And-
we're gonna make a fortune.
He's planning on it. So yeah, so thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll do this again. Really, really appreciate you showing up. And yeah, connect with your loved ones on the other side. Okay, we all need the love. You need the love. When you feel the love, you share it with everybody else, right? The world needs love now more than ever. All right. So thanks, guys. Yeah,
Bye.
love. Bye. Bye. Take care. Till next time.